Hello and welcome everybody to the Miller's Creatures Comforts 150 here from the Homestead Miami Speedway in Florida. As we just saw someone on the back straight there just go down and hit the inside wall. Not a place you usually see someone hit a wall, but regardless, we're here to race it out today. We've got a few people in the stands, which is always a great sight to see. Fans have come here from pretty early to get here. So we're going to go and join some of these cars on track. As we can see, Zach Floyd, currently P1. He's a 35-17 I-rating driver. He is on the inside of Cosman Ionescu. And they're both just behind Brandon C. Miller, the constituent of Miller's Creatures Comforts. Right, so we're going to get these people to do a pit party. Because I'm a little bit silly and I forgot to do that while we were still in the intro video. See, there's a few people coming in to practice their pit entries. Oh, spin out even in the pits. A few people spinning out in the pits. I can hear someone somewhere doing a burnout. As we've still got a few cars on track. Christian Bud, Ionescu, Hernandez is still on track. There's Christian Bud just pulling down to the infield so he can go and get ready for the pit party. Hernandez pretending to have a brake failure so he can do the same. Now we just got to wait for Ionescu. A lot of people here at the end of pit lane getting ready to come out. We currently have 25 drivers signed up for this race, 26 if you include myself. Current strength of field is a 26-18, which is immense. That's not a bad strength of field whatsoever, as everyone is starting to jockey for position here for the pit party. Let's see if we can find who's at the front of it. And it's going to be Jaron off pole. Something that we don't get to see too often. Jaron starting a pit party from the pole position. And they're off and racing. Now, if anyone's wondering what is the purpose of doing pit parties, there's a couple of reasons. One, it gets everyone used to how the cars are going to react within the draft. And two, it helps widen the lines. We see Frank Isaacson going sideways there, coming off of turn one. And it looks like he unfortunately took out Matt Burgess with him. We're just gonna set it to crashes and watch what unfolds. As you see another big bingle coming off turn 4. Multiple cars involved. I see the 5, the 22, the 1, 7. we've seen out of the 50 of Christian Budd. Not having the best of years this year as we see the 4 of Jaron Sanchez sliding down into the pit lane. There's the 20 of Derek Myers. Just missed out on winning the championship last season. Oh, and Blake Traywick from the lead got turned sideways, the 56 car, by the 48 of Cosman Ionescu. These guys are all packed up now. And that just brought everyone so much closer to each other. And 4 wide there in the middle of it. Absolutely biblical scenes. They've gone down to 2 and 3 wide now. But that was amazing to watch coming off of the second corner. They're going back to 3 wide. And they're going to be 4 wide again, maybe? No, back down to 3 wide. The 86 of Gerald West backed out of that one. Looks like these guys have now gotten themselves sorted out. I don't think we'll see another 3 or 4. Well, we might see 3 wide, but I don't think we'll see another 4 wide. Going to go catch up with the leader of this pit party. It is the 48 of Cosman Ionescu. Currently pulling out a little bit of a gap here over the 50 car of Christian Budd. Just controlling the race ever so nicely. And these guys look like their tyres are now up to temperature, so now it's up to driver skill trying to get them through these laps. Tyre saving is going to be very important in this race. I did an A-fixed race just yesterday, and yeah, that right front wears out a lot. It's surprising how much it wears actually. After about a 35 lap run, you could, if people are not looking after their tyres, start seeing people blowing them up and running straight into the wall, which I hope we don't see today, but you know, that would be pretty entertaining to see. Another thing that I forgot to do before the broadcast is go for a piss. So I'm going to have to do that during qualifying. Well, as we saw some drama there in the back, I'm not sure who was in that. I think that might have involved the 78 of Brian Pizzakemi. As Ionescu was just pulling away from Christian Budd right now, but I think Christian's trying to save his tyres a little bit. See what happens when he saves them. There's Blake Traywick just behind him in the 56. Got Jonathan Hernandez in the 88 looking to make a move down. He does. We've got another person around. And 90 of Michael Sturgill all by himself here. Let's go and jump inside the Hernandez car here. We're going to go and jump on his roll bar. This is a static camera here. We can't move it around. We do have the gyro cam right next to it, which we can move around, but I just wanted to watch from this one as we see, I'm not sure who that was, but someone pulling off into the pits. possibly the 13 of Travis Massier. You can see the different lines drivers are taking. Hernandez opting for the high line to try and save his tyres that way. Christian Budd still running that lower lane, but going all the way down towards the white line. Jonathan now follows suit a little bit, and Christian Budd actually practicing a pit entry. As we see now the 86 of Gerald West trying to pull up even with Hernandez on the inside line. Not quite going to work that way. Hernandez now coming down to practice his pit entry. And we are going to go back to focusing on crashes. There's the 13 of Travis Massier. Don't forget, if you are watching this over on the YouTube side of things, we are live here on Twitch. So if you're watching the replay over on YouTube, make sure one day you come and check it out live here on the Twitch side of things. Be a part of the conversation. Sometimes we have a lively chat, sometimes it's a little bit dull, but that's okay. As we see now, Mark Pentecoff, a guy that I did a race with earlier in the week, and we handled ourselves pretty well. I got P2 and he got P10. So it was not a bad effort by either of us. Zach Floyd still the class of the field. His fast time is a 31.639. Jaron Sanchez currently P2 with 31.662. So not too bad whatsoever. Christian Budd now 7th. Oh, and he ran into the back of the 28 car. Not actually sure who that is in the 28. Oh, yes I do. The 28 is Zach Floyd, our current top time for practice. Got a nice spec map on that car. It looks really good in the sunlight. As we've seen now, Chris Champo is sporting some new colours as well. Trying to work over the 5 of Mark Pentecoff. Oh! As we're going to crash, there's a 7 of Brian Harris and Blake Trawick in the 56, caught up in it as well. All cars going everywhere to avoid Brandon Bennett. Run into the inside wall while trying to miss it. Got another new paint scheme here as well. 38 of Thomas Harmon, running a paint scheme that his daughter told him to make. But when all else fails, all he can do is let it go. Now we see the 7 of Brian Harris getting a little bit loose there on the inside line. Must be out there on fresh tyres, which I can confirm he is. Cold tyres around here are very sketchy for the first 2 or 3 laps. The Christian Bud stopped there on the inside line so he could warp back to the pits. Blew me up, Scotty. Oh, as Blake Trawick's had more problems coming off of turn 4. Looks like this one might be all by himself. Severely damaged front end there. Now we have 32 cars in the server, 31 people signed up to do the race. We've been getting some wicked numbers here in the league so far this season. These guys are trying to go 3 wide coming off of turn 4. It's not going to quite work out that way as Iona's shoe slips back and Clayton Ward there moved up ahead of him. I see the 17 and the 13. It's Travis Massia and Christopher Spencer. As we see Frank Isaacson down on the inside line, losing it a little bit. And just behind these guys, we've also got the 69 car of Justin Botello running the 20 on the side because, you know, that's normally his number. Currently not set a time worth mentioning. But we'll see what he can do here as he's behind Travis Massia, who just got into the wall in front of him. Jabo moves up to 20th so far. He'll be looking to improve on that on this lap. Running very high on the exit of 2. Car was a little bit twitchy there as well. Twitched itself all the way down to the bottom lane. And he's going to pull out of it and do a pit entry. Now we start focusing on the 12 of Matt Burgess, who has the 7 of Brian Harris working the inside line. And very briefly we had the 13 of Travis Massia turning turtle. Don't know what put Travis into that position, but it was definitely an interesting sight. We only have about 4.5 minutes left here in the practice session before these guys will go and get themselves qualified. See more and more people starting to work in that outside line a little bit. So that way there's something there for the start of the race. If anyone's looking at doing some hot lap practice here for qualifying, this would be the time to do it. Because this is when the track is going to be the most similar to what it will be in qualifying. Be the 18 car there. It's actually the 91 of Philip Kraus. This is 7 of Brian Harris smashing into that inside wall. Oh, he didn't hold his brakes. He came back up on the track. He made Matt Horton and Justin Botello poo themselves a little bit. Now we go back to the 13 of Travis Massio. He's got Jerry Glenn just in front of him and Michael Sturgill right behind him. Now we see the 50 of Christian Budd coming back out on track. He's got Cosman Ionescu right in front of him. These guys could possibly do in qualifying simulation here. We'll have to wait and see as Cosman gets into the wall. Spooks Christian just a little bit. Ionescu backed out of it. We see Thomas Harmon returning to the track. He's got Zach Floyd right behind him. Positions in practice don't really matter too much. It's all about how these guys get themselves qualified. We see Blake Traywick doing a burnout at pit exit. Philip Kraus now trying to make a move on Ionescu, gets it into turn 1. And still no one has been able to knock Zach Floyd off of the top of the totem pole. So guys, what we're going to do here is we are going to go for a fairly extended commercial break here while these guys go into qualifying. And when we come back, we should be just about getting ready to set the grid here for the Miller's Creatures Compass 150 from the Homestead Miami Speedway. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. everybody, we are back. It's time to start going through the grid, and in pole position we are going to be having this 69 car, 20 on the side, 69 in your hearts. It is of course Justin Bertello with a 31.586, just 600ths of a second behind him. Starting out of P2 will be the 4 car of Jaron Sanchez. Second row will be made up of Evan Rice in the 42 and Gerald West in the 86, with Tyler Gary making a return in P5 in the 26 car. P6 will be the 12 of Matt Burgess. P7 will be the 90 car of Michael Sturgill. Starting out of, if I can get the right camera, nope, they're all horrible. Starting out of P8 will be the 2 of Chris Champeau. Then 9th position will be the 28 of Zach Floyd. Jonathan Hernandez in the 88 will be out of 10th, with Brian Harris in the 7 out of 11th. Dustin German in the 99 will be starting out of P12, with Cosman Ioneshu in 48 car starting out of 13th. The 20 of Derek Myers will be out of 14th. The 17 of Christopher Spencer out of 15th. Christian Budd in the 50 will be out of 16th. Ashton Schleiss will be in the 58 car starting from 17th. 18th will be the 13 of Travis Massier. 19th, the 98 of Jerry Glenn. Brian Beach in the 18 car will be out of 20th. 21st will be Brandon Miller in the 22. Frank Isaacson in the 24 will be on his outside in 22nd. Brandon Bennett in the 1 will be out of 23rd, with Mark Penticup in the 5 starting from 24th. Blake Trawick in the 56 car will be starting from 25th. Philip Kraus in the 91. The 18 on the car will be in 26th position. Brian Chambliss will be starting in the 21 car from 27th, with Thomas Harmon on his outside in 28th. And then we're supposed to have Clayton Ward, the 44 car, from 29th, but it looks like he's missed the grid. The 78 of Brian Pizzakemi will be out of 30th. Matt Horton in the 19 car will be out of 31st, and Corey Williamson in the 81 car will wrap up your grid and start from 32nd position. 32 cars on track. If you include myself, strength of field will be a 28.44. We're about to go green. It's time for us to hit the loud pedal and get it going for the Miller's Creatures Comforts 150 here from the Homestead Miami Speedway. Pace car is in, and we're off and racing. Bertello starting off with a pretty nice jump here, but we got to watch for everyone because there has been quite a bit of looseness felt in these early laps. Looks like so far so good. Everyone has made it through turns 1 and 2, which is great to see. As we make our way through 3 and 4, will that trend continue? We'll have to wait and see. And it looks like for the moment, yes, everyone made it through 3 and 4 as well. It looks like Jaron Sanchez in the 4 car starting to drift down the pack a little bit. It's fallen back to P6. And he's getting hounded even more here. The 86 Gerald West on his inside. Up in P2, we've got Evan Rice in the McDonald's car on his inside. The 26 of Tyler Gary. It looks like Tyler is going to take over that second position from Evan. Almost some contact there on corner exit. Tyler probably thought that he was going to have him cleared, but not quite. As they work their way into turns 3 and 4. Tyler will get Rice cleared this time though, with a nice little slide job. and he's going to take over that second position good and proper now. But Evan Rice is coming back on the inside of Tyler. Tyler pinched him down pretty hard there in 1 and 2, which stunted the momentum there of Evan ever so slightly. As it looks like our top 5 have all single filed out, so we're going to go and have a look at Gerald West in the 86 car, who just overtook Jaron Sanchez for 6th. These guys are battling it out pretty hard still, as we're going 4 wide just behind them. Oh, sorry, 3 wide just behind him. 4 wide. Pfft. We had the 50 of Christian Budd, who was on the extreme inside there, the 20 of Derek Myers, who was on the outside, and Christopher Spencer in the 17 in the middle. As now they're starting to make their way around Jonathan Hernandez. And as you saw there, Justin Botello with a big lead right now. Something to the tune of about 0.8 of a second over the second place of Tyler. CD2 SSR teammates trying to get their way through this pack. They got to knock down Jonathan Hernandez to do it. Jonathan is not an easy person to beat on his best days. We'll have to wait and see what Homestead throws up at him to deal with. But this is still the battle to watch right now, just this one little battle pack here. As now we go 3 wide, Christian Budd on the inside. They backed out of it just a little bit there in the center of the corner. Yeah, almost 3 wide there again with the 12 of Matt Burgess, our commentator from the, co-commentator from the past 2 weeks. Making his return, he's off suspension. They are 3 wide again. Derek Myers driving like a man possessed. Derek running a very high line there. Some would call that the Larson line, because it was definitely close to disaster. But that move has put him up into the 11th position. As let's go check in on our leader now. Gabo in the 69 car, 20 on the side of it, 69 in our hearts. Justin Botello is just dominating this race right now. Question is, how good is Jonathan at saving his tires? Now we're starting to get to the point of the race where I'm going to open up the radio waves here. We're going to set the cameras to focus on whoever they want to focus on. Let's open up the radios and see what these drivers are talking about, and if they're even talking at all. I love that camera shot. Next time we go around to the front straight, I'm going to just shut up and we can listen to them going past that camera. It is definitely one of the best camera angles we have within the season. Just absolute bliss. And you see the battle we're focusing on here is the 21 car of Brian
How's that
Chambliss.
fresh air up there, J-Bo? Nice.
I do believe that was a 7 of Brian
Get the
Harris
lead
as
us over.
well.
It's crazy. The package.
We heard them just talking about Jabo extending his lead now to nearly 2 seconds. The fresh air that he's got, doesn't have to worry about getting sideways or getting tight. And he's just running his own race. As now we see the 2 of Chris Champeau trying to work over the 20 of Derek Myers. Just behind them is Ashton Slice, making a return to racing action here as well. Haven't seen him too much after the end of last season. We're now 16 laps into this 100 lap race. Oh, I just love that camera angle way too much. We're going to go catch up with Jabo, see what he's doing. He's just doing what he's doing, man. He's got like a 2-second gap here at the front of the field, which is absolutely amazing.
Excellent.
Now it looks like Clayton Ward has now joined the race. He's 4 laps down. I think Jabo just started to back up a little bit there. Either that or Tyler has been saving his tyres just a little bit better than Justin, because that gap started to come down ever so slightly. Go and jump on board with Gerald West in the 86 car, who is just behind Tyler, and jump on the roll bar cam. And let's see these guys try and catch up to Justin a little bit here. That's code word for I'm going to shut up for a second so I can have a little bit of a snack. And there you go, Gerald West just now taking over the second position from Tyler there. And Gerald thinks he can do a little bit more from leading in front of Tyler than what he can do following Tyler. And at the moment, the gap between them and Jabo has stayed pretty similar. Hasn't really gone up or down a little. Although Gerald West now taking point in the chase down Jabo. It could be on here. Just having a look at the little bit of a split timer that we got. And Gerald definitely closed in a little bit there on Jabo.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I got stuck on you. I didn't get a
Jabo's
zero.
last lap was a 33.157. Gerald West did a 33.019, so only gained a tenth, but it's still a game nonetheless. As he is starting to push really hard here, and Justin in not very long at all. He's going to be looking at getting into some lap traffic here very shortly. First victim on his list being Corey Williamson, 81 car down in 31st. Not a great race for Corey. Now on lap 26, that gap started to even out very slightly now, but it is another 10th gain there for Gerald West. We're watching intently to see if anyone here is going to trip up at all. Now, let's take this from the rear bumper cam on Justin's car. What 1.5 seconds looks like, folks. Ooh. Did you hear that? Felt like Justin got out of the throttle a little bit there. Coming up a turn 4. A little bit too close to the wall, maybe. All I know for sure is everyone who is saving tyres is definitely going to be looking good in this little period of time. And we could
We don't have
also
to go down the
start
access road,
seeing
do we?
people taking pit stops here.
No.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Because tyre wear is going to be the biggest factor of this race.
Optional if you want to take it to be safe.
It's all about who can wear their tyres the best.
Okay.
It looks like we've got a battle for third going on here as well. The 90 car of Michael Sturgill, just taken over third from Tyler. We heard Tyler asking the question about whether they have to take the access road or not to get into the pits. And we do have a taker for the pits already. It looks like it is the 81 of Corey Williamson. But not someone I would have expected to come to the pits yet. Although that does make sense because he was just about to go a lap down. He thought discretion was the better part of valor. He'll get his pit stop out of the way and get out of the way of the leaders at the very same time. But this is unfortunately going to put him at least 2 laps down. And we have a caution on the track. Oh!
Wow.
We're just going to turn off the radio channel there. I'm pretty sure someone was going to say something that they really were going to regret then. Derek pinched him down pretty hard there. See if we can get a different angle of this. Back it up again. We'll get it really slowed down when they make contact. I've got to slow down as much as it will slow. There was a tiny bit of overlap there. It looked like Derek just kept on coming down, but that is going to be a hard one to call. I think that would probably be considered a bit of a racing incident. Iona's shoe definitely looking at coming down to the inside line. Derek would have known that he was going down that way. So just have to do a wait and see on that one. Everyone managed to stay clear of him after he'd spun. He held his brakes like he should. He's going to have a little bit... Oh no! Mark! I was just going to say, the damage doesn't look too bad. It's just a little bit on the rear end, and Mark Pentecoff, out of nowhere, half an hour after the crash. Oh no, Mark, that is horrible. We're going to have to give him a serving for that one, I think. Old Marky boy. Alright. Let's do it. Go find Mark. Go and bring Mark to the voice channel here. Because this will be an interesting conversation. Hey Mark, Corey up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yes, sir. I do.
Alright, now the biggest question that we're getting from our fan base right now is how the hell did you get into that crash a half an hour after he was just sitting there stopped?
I was just following the 44 and figured, okay, we got to get, we got to catch up. We're way behind. Get back up to the pace car, and I come around the corner. And I'm just following him. And he slows down, goes low, and I try to slow down, go low, and my tires are so crap. It won't slow down, won't turn, won't do anything. It's crazy. And just like, crap, I can't stop. There's nothing I can do. I couldn't go anywhere. So it was just a matter of not realizing that it was in that turn either. No one said what turn it was in. They just said there's a caution. And I was like, okay, I'm so far back, I can just kind of cruise.
Alright man, no worries. We just thought we'd get the inside scoop. Hopefully the damage isn't too bad and we can see you come back out there later on in the race.
Well, if I do, it'll be kind of slow.
Alright, mate. Well, good luck for the rest of the race, and hopefully we catch up with you again later.
All right, thanks.
Alright, there we go, guys. The 5 of Mark Pentecough, if Discord will let me put him back into where he's supposed to be. But that is a common problem that we see a lot of. It's not a big deal. It's just something that happens. Alright, we've got Botello, Sturgill, Gary, West, Rice, Hernandez, Kraus, Sanchez, Floyd, and Schleiss as your top 10. Here for the restart of the... And, you know, this just eliminated green flag stops for these guys. I just realised that.
Go. Green flag.
We're back underway, though. And Justin Botello taking a huge lead already. Gerald West trying to sneak his way up the inside of Sturgill. Oh, and we're going to go 3 wide for second position with Gary going up on the inside. Sturgill then sweeps around the outside of both of them, takes command of that second position. It looks like the front pack at least has started to single file out a little bit here. Although we do have a battle forming, the 91 of Kraus and the 42 of Evan Rice. Kraus takes that position over Rice, that's the 5th. Now we've got another battle forming here, just a little bit further back as well. Darren Sanchez falling down the pack again. He's already been overtaken by Ashton Schleiss. Now he's been overtaken by Zach Floyd. But can he hold it around the outside? Looks like for the moment he can. That's some encouraging news there for Jaron. Holding on to the 9th position right now. Going back to our leaders. Jabo is not exactly having it all his own way this time. He's still forming a gap over P2, but it's only to the tune of about half a second at the moment. He's looking pretty comfortable. Alright guys, well while we got everyone pretty calm at the moment, we're going to go for a quick commercial break. When we come back, we will be continuing on to either the next caution or green flag stop cycle. Make sure you guys stay tuned. Alrighty guys, we are back, sorry about that. Trying to look for some battles going on here in the mid-packs while we're under that caution commercial break. Does not look like we got anything going on. Did just see someone getting very sideways there for no particular reason, but I'm not sure what was happening with that. But either way, just behind these guys, we do have a tiny little bit of a battle. With a 98 of Jerry Glenn there trying to work on the inside of Travis Massey. These guys battling it out for the 20th position. Mostly everyone else all single filed out. So what we might do is do a little through the field kind of thing. See the 69, but it's the 20 on the screen of Justin Vitello. Still holding on to a commanding lead. P2, we're going to have the 26 of Tyler Gary. P3 will be the 90 of Michael Sturgill. Sorry, Sturgill. I keep making that mistake. Just behind him will be the 91 in the standings, but the 18 on track of Philip Klaus. We're going to have the 86 of Gerald West in 5th place. The 88 of Hernandez in 6th. Ashton Schleiss in the 68 car is currently in 7th. You can see Evan Rice in the 42 behind him in 8th. For Jaron Sanchez holding on to 9th with the 28 of Zach Floyd right behind him in 10th. But here comes the Ice Queen himself, Thomas Harmon in the 38. Sitting in 11th, but he has been flying his way through the field. Right behind him, the old sparring partner of the 12 of Matt Burgess. We're also going to have the 78 of Brian Pizzikemi there in 13th. The 2 of Chris Champeau is in 14th. Right behind him, you can see the 56 of Blake Tarwick in 15th. The 17 of Christopher Spencer 18th with the Brian Chambliss there in 19th. Brian going for a move. We'll just stick with this for a second and zoom out a little bit so we can get a better look at the battle going on. Blake Trawick is also going to make a move there just in front as well. Trawick gets the position. So that's Trawick into 14th. Champeau down to 15th, and in fact, Champeau looking like he's going to lose another spot here to Christopher Spencer, who was able to hold off the 21 of Chambliss. Just behind these guys is Christian Budd. Christian must have had a terrible pit stop. In fact, he did 42 seconds worth. Not sure what's going on with Christian Budd there, but he's not having the race that he would have wanted. Got Matt Horton in 19th and Jerry Glenn in 20th as well. Got Chambliss now trying to make a move on the 2 of Chris Champeau. I think Chris might have used up his tyres a little bit here. Looks like we've got a battle forming just up ahead of these guys. I think that is with the 4 of Jaron Sanchez. In fact, it is. But Evan Rice up there. Jaron Sanchez overtaking Evan Rice for the 8th position, leaving him outside to dry. Zach Floyd's going to try and take advantage as well. So is the Ice Queen Thomas Harmon. In fact, they look like they're just about 3 wide going down the front straight here past the speed cam. And here comes Thomas. 3 wide as they come out of turn 2. The 28 car of Zach Floyd thought better of it and slipped back in behind Evan Rice. Thomas Harmon right down on that inside line. The lowest that anyone is running right now. Trying to make the move sticks. Now, can he put a freeze on the Rice, or will the Rice be too good for Thomas? I had to think very slowly there about what I was going to say, so the words came out incredibly slow there. Thomas Harmon does get the move made now. That's going to move Thomas up into 9th. Zach Floyd also trying to get around the 42 car of Rice. Looks like he's going to have just as hard of a time as what Thomas did. In fact, he is having just as hard of a time as what Thomas did. That's just crazy. In fact, he's just pulled back in behind Evan. Thought better of making the move. Couldn't get it done on the inside. So he's not even going to try to do it at all. We're going to go back in to check in on our leaders. We're also going to reopen the radio waves here. But Jabo in a commanding lead, back out to about 2 seconds like we saw before that last caution. See Tyler in the 26 car still sitting there in P2, but he's in a battle now with Gerald West in the 86. Thought they were going to stay nose to tail for a little bit longer, but that appears to not be the case. Gerald trying to get that inside to work, gets it done going into turn 3. Nice move there by Gerald West. Now can Gerald start closing in on Justin? The J&J show at the front of the pack. Looks like just behind them we might have another battle as well forming here. So we are actually going to take a ride on board with the Michael Sturgill car. We're going to go into his roll bar here. He's working over the back of the 91 of Philip Kraus. 18 on track, 91 in your standings. Just about gets his nose there on the inside. Doesn't quite get there, Michael Sturgill. I thought Philip was going to try and look at a move there on Tyler. Was not to be the case just yet, although Tyler is falling back pretty quickly here. And saying that, Gerald West is closing the gap ever so slightly to Jabo. Down to about 1.6 seconds now as Michael Sturgill goes for the move on Philip Kraus. Oh, and there's a little bit of contact there. Sturgill just about lost it after that contact. Great save though. And still holds on to his 5th position, which is even more amazing than that. And that car was on the edge of being a disaster, and he wrangled it back and kept it going straight. As now Philip Kraus goes for the inside move. Can he get it done on Tyler? No, not this time. Tyler just too strong at the moment for these guys behind him. As we are going to go back to having a quick look at the leader maybe. No, Michael's going to look at making another move as we got some green flag pit stops going on as well. Gerald West in the pits, we've had Corey Chambliss in the pits, Chris Champo's been in the pits, Corey Williamson's almost a lap down. Got everything going on here. Sturgill did make it around Philip Kraus. Now he's going to try his hand at getting around the 26 of Tyler as well. Christian Blood, Christopher Spencer, and our leader have all hit the pit lane. Now Tyler is the leader of the race. Sturgill effectively P2. Tyler is just running the perfect line right now to keep people behind. Tires start getting this old, it is almost impossible to pass. We now make it to 35 laps to go in this race. These guys could make it to the end from here. And one of these guys are going to come in for their pit stop. The Corey Williamson pulling down to the inside of the track. Give the leaders free passage. We've got three wide back there a little bit. We just heard Michael Sturgill come over the radio say he's coming in this time.
Number 13 pitting in.
13 of Massia's coming in as well. But for the moment, while everyone's all mixed up, we're just going to go to the whatever camera. Have a look at whatever's going on around the track. We see the 38 of Thomas Harmon. And I think that is the 58 of Ashton Schleiss.
What are you doing?
Chris Champo's not happy at someone. I'm not sure who. He was definitely expressing some venting there.
No, I'm gonna pit.
That was the voice of league owner and operator Jonas Sanchez coming to the pits. And today's sponsor, Brandon Miller. Miller's Creatures Comforts. Go and find them on Facebook. Keeping creatures comfortable since whenever he started the business. I'm going to say established in 2007, because why not?
Go low for it. Fitness time. Fitness time. Fitness time.
I don't know what I was doing, but you were running me over when I was supposed to be pitting. Impossible now, sorry.
As the salt is flying freely right now. Tyler still not pitting. Jonathan Hernandez, Thomas Harmon, and Ashton Schleiss, Gary Glenn, and Christopher Spencer are all cars who have not pitted yet. Same with Brandon Bennett, he's not pitted either.
I'm pitting, Ashton.
Alright.
Got Thomas coming in this time. As there is cars absolutely everywhere here. 3 wide, almost 4 on the front straight. These guys are turning up the wick. Still got 29 laps left in this race. Jonathan Hernandez came in at the same time as Thomas, so we've only got 5 cars who have not pitted yet. That's Tyler, Ashton Schleiss, Jerry Glenn, Christopher Spencer, and Brandon Bennett. So let's maybe keep following our leader here. See when he is going to pit. still out for another lap. He's working lap 41 of this tyre run. I think it's a little bit silly. Unless he knows something that I don't. As now Brandon Bennett comes into the pits.
One on the grass in the front.
Put in front.
Over on the front straight, they get a little bit sideways. I think that was the two of Chris Champeau. Barry Glenn's now in the pits.
Who wants to build a snowman with me and Thomas after the race? In Miami?
Gabo has reassumed the potential lead. As we go 3 wide there on the front straight, behind our leader, who still has not pitted yet. Look at that, 3 wide back there. Still.
There's something about trouble here, man. Take it low on one, idiot.
And that is some of the fastest talking I'd ever heard.
No problem.
Oh, Tyler looking like the car is starting to not like him too very much. We only have 3 cars left to pit. Here's one of them. And he's coming in this time. Let's see what Ashton Schleiss is doing. Ashton stays out. I don't know whether the 17 of Christopher Spencer's coming in or not. That is a big no. Oh, Chris Champeau. Hold on to it, son. Bouncing off the wall like a wrecking ball. They're under control now, though.
Thank you. Jump up.
Big check back in with that leader.
No problem.
Just in front of this. Ashton Schleiss still out. He's on 46 lap old tyres. I think he just said he's pitting this time. Wow, the 13 of Travis Massia almost clouding him there. Now let's see what the 17 does. He's going to be the last car to come to the pit road. Well, he's obviously not coming in this time. As Justin Botello is going to retake the lead at this point. Gerald West not too far behind him though. Get a proper number for you here shortly. They come across the start finish line this time.
Thanks, Chamber.
We're just going to keep an eye here on the 17 very briefly to see when he's going to come in. He's still not come in. He's on 47 lap old tyres. It's going to be 48 as he crosses the line. 48 lap old tyres. 20 laps to go on this race. I don't think he's going to be able to keep this thing going.
You can come by, Brandon. I appreciate it, but yeah, you can come by there whenever. Just come up here and take it.
And it looks like he's going to come in this time, possibly.
I still want to race you, Eddie. I got fresher tires.
Yeah, come on. That ain't okay.
And he's coming in now. That is now every single pit stop done.
I'll burn them up here in a little bit. You'll go right back by me.
Oh, they already gone. Mine are.
So while we now have everyone who has come in for pit stops, we're going to take this chance to go for a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be running to the finish. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Alrighty everyone, welcome back to the Miller's Creatures Comforts 150 here from the Homestead Miami Speedway.
Thank you, Black. Thank you, Zach.
We are now in our final 15 laps. We're still being led by the one and the only Jabo Justin Batello in the 69 car. As you can see, he has quite the modest lead over Gerald West in P2, out to the tune of about 2.5 seconds. And we see a lot of that going throughout the field, but we're going to have a quick little look at Gerald West here. Because right behind him is going to be the 18 car on track, but the 91 in your standings, Philip Kraus from the Mid-South. Philip looking pretty strong there just behind Gerald. But you can see he was almost going for the move on the outside as they got into turn 3. Got very differing pit strategies here. Now Kraus makes his move on the inside. Gerald West still holding it up high, but he's been cleared now. It's going to be Kraus up into P2. After Gerald was looking so strong there on older tyres. Seems like it's starting to fall apart for him a little bit here. I don't think Kraus is going to have what it takes to try and catch up to our leader, Justin, though. He is G-O-N-E gone out of this stratosphere. Almost 3 seconds the gap now. Back to Philip Kraus. We have some movers and shakers happening throughout the rest of the field as well. So we're going to go and just set iRacing to focus on crashes. See what we got going on around the track. But in those final 5 laps, we're going to be looking all at Jabo.
Tyler, go low.
See these cars storming their way through turns 1 and 2.
Thank you.
Don't forget, this is the Miller's Creatures Comforts 150 here from the Homestead Miami Speedway. Go and check them out on Facebook. And maybe pick something up for that critter in your life. We see just in front of the 28, sorry. A little bit of a battle going on here between some of our normally fast guys. The 38 of Thomas Harmon and the 50 of Christian Budd. Got the 17 in there as well, Christopher Spencer. He's a lap down after his pit stop. But he's got fresher tyres than these guys as well, as he makes easy work of both of these guys. It's amazing what fresh tyres can do for a driver's confidence. He just overtook two of the fastest guys in this league. And they're only battling it out for 6th and 7th.
All you're looking for.
Another battle forming back here as well with the 4 of Jaron Sanchez. I think that's the 12 of Matt Burgess. These guys battling it out for 11th and 12th. Matt taking that position over from Jaron. Just in front of them, just behind them actually, is Tyler Gary, who all in all is not in too bad of a position, considering how long he waited to make his pit stop. Thought he would have been a lot worse off than that. Looks like Jaron's just not really keeping up with the 12 right now. As we're going to go and focus on Justin a little bit early here. He just went around the 5 of Mark Penticuff, putting Mark another lap down. He's now 22 laps down as Mark, after making his return from that crash. But at the moment, Jabo is the absolute class of the field.
Go away, Tyler.
54-13 I rating driver, A-class, 4.34. Jabo is just putting down an absolute arse whooping on everyone. Everyone behind him is probably thinking, shit, what do we have to do to try and keep up with him? And that's my one for the stream. Now Christopher Spencer is making his way through some of these faster guys as well. He just got around Gerald West. And Michael Sturgill is making a return to top form as well. Trying to take over the 3rd spot from Gerald West. Manages to get it done. Sturgill actually has 4 lap older tyres than Gerald West right now. You see the sun starting to set in the background. Day's going to start transitioning into night, but that's not going to matter. Especially not for our leader, Justin Botello. Coming out of turn 3 and 4 to get 2 laps to go now. Philip Kraus still there in 2nd position. About 3 seconds off of Justin right now. Justin is completely unchallenged all the way around. And he has been the absolute class of the field. He's led the most laps. And he's just absolutely gunning it. There's no way that he's going to be getting caught from here unless he makes a horrible mistake. White flag's out. Last lap. Last chance to win it or wear it for Justin Botello.
What the hell? Oh.
We're going to mute the driver channel again here, as we watch Jabo do what would effectively be just a little parade lap here. Comes out of turn 3 and 4. coming down the main straight. Your winner here is Justin Batello. P2 will go to Philip Kraus. And P3 at the moment is going to be Michael Sturgill. Great effort there by Michael for P3. Fourth is Jonathan Hernandez. Gerald West ended up slipping all the way down to 5th. With Thomas Harmon in P6, Christian Budd 7th, Zach Floyd in 8th, Matt Burgess 9th, and Blake Treywick in 10th. We see Justin now lining it up on the front straight. I think we're about to see some donuts here. If you have access to the tier 2 sub emote on the Twitch channel, the burnout emote, make sure you start spamming them in the chat right now. Oh, is he just got absolutely cleaned up? J-Bo has turned turtle. Alright guys, we're going to go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll have driver interviews and our hard charger award, so make sure you stay tuned. Great racing everyone, very entertaining race to watch. Obviously we need the top 3, so J-Bo, Philip and Michael, you guys are in. Just give me a second, I'm going to figure out who the hard charger was, and then we'll get into the interviews guys. Alrighty, Christian Bug, you are the hard charger, my friend. Guten Tag.
Hey, what's going on?
Oh, that's bad. Alright, that was a crazy race. Oh, wicked.
Yeah, it wasn't the best one for me.
Yeah, I know. Not for Thomas either. Alrighty guys, we are back, and as always we kick things off with the Speedway Memes Hard Charger Award, starting from P16 and finishing in 7th with a +9 gain for the entire race. I'll English one of these days, I swear I will. I say it every season but I never do. We're going to be talking to the 50 car of Christian Budd. Christian, Not the greatest race by you by any measure of, well, anything that you've done in our league, because you are normally right at the front all the time. But still, not a bad race to gain 9 positions throughout the whole thing. What was it like for yourself?
The reason I got the hard charger was because I did a horrible job in qualifying and hit the apron in turn 3, so that wasn't the way to start it off. And then after that, I think I drove up to 7th or something like that on that first run. And at that point, the caution came out right as it did. I touched the wall just a little bit, didn't really think anything of it. And then when I pitted, it had 30 seconds of damage. And the car was pretty much, it was not good after that. It was just real slow and real draggy.
Alright, well, it looked for the most part like even with that little bit of damage you had and the repairs that you had, you were still holding on to a little bit of pace there. But what was the car like in the early laps? I did mention before that these cars can be really sketchy around here on cold tires. Did you notice much of that going on? Like, was there much sideways action going on in the mid packs?
No, not at all. It was super tight. Be honest with you, I usually struggle when we have setups that are really tight like this, and it wasn't. I mean, I know a couple guys complained about it maybe being loose on a start, but I didn't get that at all. It went tight and it stayed tight, and every time you pulled into the pits, you were just seeing how much you burned off your right front.
Wow, so that is quite a bit of a surprise there. I would not have thought that it would have went that way. But let's talk about what this means for your championship, though. You finished in front of, oh no, just behind Thomas, unfortunately. But you know, a 7th place, still not a bad result in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of early, I guess, to really worry about the points too much. I mean, really, more than anything, I just like to try and win a race, and this high downforce stuff really isn't the best thing for me. So kind of looking forward to some of the short tracks when they start coming up here, especially places like Dover. Should be really fun. Um, kind of probably threw one away at Atlanta last week, so that wasn't very smart. But it's just kind of the way this season's gone so far. But it's okay. It'll turn around. It always does.
Well, we will usually find you there or thereabouts as long as everything starts going your way again. We know things aren't always the best for you, but Texas next week, newly reprofiled turns 1 and 2, could be quite interesting to race the track in its new configuration. What is your expectations heading into Texas next week?
Um, I really don't know. I haven't touched it. So I don't. If it was anything like, really, probably what it's going to come down to is just how's the setup. So far as I can tell, all these 550 races have just been super tight. And if we have the same thing at Texas, I think we're have a similar looking race. Be nice to see what these cars would drive like if they were a little looser and we had to do more than just try and manage the right front tire. I mean, you can pass it. It's not that the cream is not rising to the top in these races. It's just that it puts on a different kind of race. So we're just gonna have to see. And I mean, anything I've ever seen on TV with that turn 1 and 2, it doesn't look very promising. But I haven't tried it on iRacing, so we'll see what happens once we get there.
All right, well, no worries, man. While we got you up here in the booth, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to?
Yeah, just ORL and Jaron works really hard to make sure that this league runs smoothly and everybody stays on the same page. All the drivers here are just top-notch people, which makes this a lot more fun. So I really enjoy that. And of course, watching your broadcast after the fact is always a good time too. So all that stuff. If you haven't joined Output Racing or you're thinking about it, it's a great league and you should join.
All right, well, thank you very much, Christian. We look forward to seeing what you can do next week at Texas, mate.
Thanks, appreciate it.
All right, guys, so that was today's hard charger, the 50 car of Christian Budd. And it's always great to have a conversation with Christian because he is a great he just does great conversations. Yeah, we'll just stick with that because me no English. Coming up next, we have a guy who better unmute himself very quickly from the Discord channel or else he's not getting an interview. We're going to be talking to the 90 car of Michael Sturgill. Michael, great race by you today, man. You looked really strong as the tires were starting to wear off.
Yeah, I definitely got better on the longer runs. I was able to save them better than I think everyone else was. So that was great. The only problem I think really was we pitted a couple laps too late. I think if we would have went in with Justin, we might have been able to be there at the end with him.
Well, it's definitely a bit of a hard choice there. We saw lots of different strategy play out. We saw Gerald West pit really, really early. We saw Tyler Gary pit really late, and that kind of half worked out for him. I think having a quick little look through, he made it back to 14th. He must have had a drama on the last lap or two, but you know he was working his way up towards the top 10 there with his late pit stop. But it's just one of those weird races where you don't really know, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. On the first pit stop of first caution we went in, and that was about 32 laps or so, and we had really, really, really good tire wear compared to everybody else. So that's why we were gonna make a stop later in the run. We were planning on stopping around lap 70, and then everyone else started going in, and so that's why we went in a couple laps after everyone else did. So I think that's the only thing that really cost us, but I'm happy with P3. Definitely a good night.
Well, it's definitely boding to be a pretty good season for you here so far. You know, you're always there or thereabouts within the top 10. Mostly we see you in the top 5, and you know, things just seem to be really clicking for you here in this league.
Yeah, there's most of the guys that run in this are clean racers, so you don't have too many problems with getting in stupid wrecks. And any race where there's a longer run, I feel like I do pretty well on this new tire model, saving them. So I usually, let everyone else by and pull back up on them later in the run, and it works out for me.
All right, man. Now next week we're going into Texas, newly reprofiled Texas, I do believe it is. What's your feeling heading into what should be a fairly difficult track to tame?
Not sure. I know I've ran Texas before, but it's the new one, so I'm not sure what to expect, and especially with the new tire model. So I just have to, I guess, wait and see.
All right, man. Well, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to before we let you go here today?
Yeah, my spotter Billy, and then actually my paint guy Billy. They keep me looking good. It's the Billies. They keep me looking good and running good. So shout out to them. Shout out to you for broadcasting, and shout out for everyone in the league and who puts it on.
In case you guys missed that, he likes the spotter Billy better because he mentioned him first.
Right.
All
That's
right,
funny.
well, thank you very much, Michael. Congratulations on P3. Extend the congratulations on to Billy as well. And we look
Will
forward
do.
to seeing you again next week.
Look forward to talking to you again.
Alrighty, guys, so that was Michael Sturgill, today's third place getter with an amazing run. And I put myself into the wrong channel there, somehow. Coming up next, we are going to be talking to today's second place getter. He's 91 in your standings there, but he's the 18 on track. We are, of course, talking to Philip Kraus. Philip, a great run by you here today, man. But you're a little bit of a dark horse there. We didn't see you there or thereabouts too terribly much, like at the immediate front of the field. But you definitely knew how to work your way through and get the job done.
Yeah, I started at the back during quali. I just felt like it'd probably be fun to drive through the field if I could, but the setup was definitely a bit tighter than I thought it'd be. So when I was trying to drive through on that first green flag round, once we got like 15, 20 laps in, I didn't have right front tire left anymore. I couldn't really go anywhere. A yellow sort of saved me, and then we all bunched back up, and I was able to sit about top 5 till the pit stops.
Now we knew that tyres was going to be one of the biggest factors coming into this race. And you said that you burnt off your right front a little bit. Was the majority of the race under the green flag running all about trying to save that right front for a run later on in the race? Or was it, go hell for leather and hope that you get a caution?
I was trying to save it as hard as I could. I'm horrible at saving tires, but I think if you were trying to push it really hard, you're probably gonna actually blow a right front if you want a full fuel run, because the wear seemed that bad. It was just super tight during the race.
All right, now you did actually start from 26, as we both kind of half mentioned by saying that you were starting at the back. What was it like for you just trying to wing your way through all the traffic? Because once the tires start going off a little bit, people, saving and not saving, it must be very difficult to get passes made.
Yeah, it was difficult. Tight setup plus dirty air, more tight. It wasn't a fun time. I almost pushed up into a few people sometimes because I wasn't expecting them to run as low off the corner as they were. But I didn't take out anybody, so I'll take that.
All right, man. Well, it was a great run by you. We're going to Texas next week. Is the newly redeveloped Texas with the flatter turns 1 and 2. What's the feeling like going to Texas next week?
I don't know. I think it'll be interesting. I haven't really driven the new Texas at all, but I imagine with the lower banking in 1 and 2, it's probably going to be a bit tight because it's probably going to be set up a bit more for 3 and 4, I'd imagine. But we'll see how the race goes.
All right, man. Well, before we let you go, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to?
Just Splash and Go graphics for the great cars they pump out for everybody. Definitely give them a look if you're looking for a paint scheme.
All right, man. Well, thank you very much. We look forward to seeing what you can do next week at Texas.
Yep, thank you.
All right, guys. So that was today's second place getter, the 91 car of Philip Kraus. You can see him on screen there, just in front of Thomas Harmon. Coming up next, we have today's emphatic winner, and he was not winner by a small way. He was winner by a goddamn margin. We are, of course, talking to the 69 car, the 20 on track, the 69 in our hearts, of the one and only Mr. Jabo, Justin Botello. Justin, incredible race by you, man. You led pretty much the entire way. What was it like for you just getting in that clean air and just getting away from everyone?
Huge advantage, that clean air just helped us a ton. We were just flying. There's like nothing I don't think second place could do to really catch up. I feel like clean air was king and kind of showed that on the track there.
Now, with the clear air, obviously the car's not as tight. So, at any point, did you feel like the car was starting to loosen off for you a little bit, or was it just that little bit tight for the entire run? And did you have to try and look after your tires a little bit?
Oh, definitely. I was kind of worrying about not saving tires there. I was kind of going all to the wall there. The whole race, and it was just crazy. Tires looked good though on the end of the run, and we were just really fast. It was a little tight throughout the run, but it wasn't like that bad. I think the clean air was just so dominant in that.
All right, man. Now, next week we're going to Texas. It's the newly reprofiled Texas with the slightly flatter turns 1 and 2. What is the feeling like for you heading into the redeveloped track?
Be a huge unknown. Never really ran that before, so it's gonna be kind of weird going to a new track. But hopefully get used to it, do some practice laps, and hopefully we'll be fast there and get a good run like we did tonight. Can't be much better than what we did tonight. So hopefully next week we'll be.
All right, man. Now we all know that you're a Twitch streamer. Do you want to give a quick shout out to your Twitch and anyone else who's helped you out here this evening?
Give a shout out to my Twitch channel, just above 20. Go check them out. That's me. Do a really good job over there. We always have fun and always do some racing. But love to give a shout out to Splash and Go Graphics and Sim Performance Group for wonderful stuff. So thank you.
All right, Justin. Well, thank you very much, man. Congratulations on your win, and we look forward to seeing you again next week.
Oh yeah, can't wait.
All right, guys. So that was today's winner, and as I said, not a winner by a small margin. He got out the front and just dominated the entire race, Justin Botello. All right, guys. So this will wrap up the broadcast here. I hope with everything going on in the world, you guys are staying safe. It's scary times what's going on in the world, and we just want everyone to be able to come back here and enjoy some sim racing. Also want to give a quick shout out to one of the originals here from the Output Racing League, Aaron, formerly known as Psycho Boy, currently known as Super Penguin TV on Twitch. It's his birthday today, the 17th of March, and very big happy birthday there to Aaron. So that's it from here today, guys, from me. On behalf of the drivers, the teams, the league itself, and the broadcast, I'd like to thank you all for coming out. And until Texas next week, we'll see you guys next time.